So when they start throwing stuff, you
Yeah,
just stand there.
I'll follow your lead.
Hey, Jack, the hard question.
Wait a minute, I'm out. I
Yeah.
didn't sign up for that.
Okay, is everybody ready? In the past 5 years, we've announced almost 300 new motor vehicle-related projects here in Kentucky, representing $4 billion in new investment. The auto manufacturing industry here now boasts 460 establishments employing almost 82,000 people. In 2013, our motor vehicle exports reached a record $5.5 billion, and we built 1.2 million vehicles. Now, those numbers are familiar to many of you in this room, particularly those standing behind me, because folks like this are the ones that are responsible for creating those numbers. But the fact that Kentucky ranks number 3 in auto production still comes as a surprise to many people, both here in Kentucky, nationally, and internationally. This lack of recognition complicates our efforts to attract new investment and to ensure that our automotive industry has what it needs to compete in the global marketplace. So today, we address that weakness. We're here today to announce a new initiative that will elevate the status of Kentucky's automotive industry and give it a critical tool to address common challenges and achieve shared goals. That tool is called the Kentucky Automotive Industry Association, a new organization that will bring together auto manufacturers, suppliers, and supporting entities to create a strong, unified voice. The press release being passed out includes the names of the 12-member inaugural board of directors, consisting of industry and government leaders that will lead the association. Its inaugural chair will be Larry Hayes, Secretary of the State Cabinet for Economic Development. Many of these board members are with us today and are standing up here with me. Now, let me be clear. This is not a government agency or even a quasi-government agency. The state is facilitating the creation of the association and will help it get up and running until it can be self-supporting. In fact, the idea for this association and its preliminary goals stem from many conversations that cabinet officials have had with Kentucky's manufacturers and suppliers. This has been an industry-driven idea and will be an industry-driven organization. Now, what will be its charge? One overall goal is branding, creating an identity for our industry, elevating its visibility and publicizing the cutting-edge technology and processes being developed. A second goal is advocacy, raising awareness about the industry's impacts on communities, influence on our economy, and needs for continued development. A third goal is setting up unified leadership that will advance the industry and create an environment for growth. Strategies might include coordinated approaches to address problems, sharing best practices, pursuing federal grant dollars in support of training, creating partnerships with peer organizations, and establishing an annual Kentucky Automotive Conference. And a fourth overall goal is workforce development, helping the industry tackle its most stubborn and critical challenge. This would include more aggressive recruitment in schools, bolstering in-state training resources, and working with our education and workforce communities to address the skills gap in technical positions. Other strategies and goals will evolve as the board begins to meet. Now, it's important to note that similar organizations already exist in many other states, especially those with big auto industries. However, what we have in mind here in Kentucky would be more active and aggressive than most. We need the Kentucky Automotive Industry Association to play a vital role in addressing the challenges, solutions, and opportunities facing the industry, so that it will not only survive this 21st century global economy, but also grow in size and significance. The bottom line, we want Kentucky to be as synonymous with the automotive industry as is Detroit, and we believe this organization will help to make that happen. Now, to talk more about this initiative, let me ask Larry Hayes to come up. Larry?
You know, Governor, thank you. It's the first time I saw Gabby. You're after me. You know, the governor's done a good job of really outlining the reason for this industry council that we're going to create. You know, from the cabinet standpoint, I can't stress enough how our partners, both the OEMs, who are fierce competitors in the marketplace, and our suppliers, who are fiercely competitive within the industry and with each other. You know, they've come together, and there's a lot of things that we can all come together and talk about in a very productive way. You know, Toyota is still going to have those issues that are very Toyota-driven. Ford is going to still have theirs. General Motors is still going to have theirs. All our suppliers are going to continue to compete. But, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's what direction we're heading as an industry in this state. And it's that boat, rising tide lifts all the boats, and that's what we're going to intend to do. I see Greg Higdon with the Kentucky Manufacturers Association over here, and Greg certainly in his organization have done a great job of representing the manufacturing businesses in the state in a holistic way. This is not taking away from your all's efforts, Greg. He's been a true partner in developing this. This is really adding to. We're going to gather new members who are involved. They're very singularly involved in the automotive sector, and people that are impacted or want to be involved at some level with them. But it's going to be complementary of what's going on with Greg's association now. So we're really excited in the cabinet, as the governor made very clear. I think this is not a government initiative. Our charge over at the cabinet is to help stand this up with our partners. That board will take over, create their own bylaws. We're filing the articles of incorporation with them, and then they'll create their own bylaws, and hopefully in the years to come, this will be long beyond when we're here. You're going to see a strong voice giving a clear vision for what the automotive industry is doing for this state now, and what it can do for this state, and really how it relates to the automotive industry, which is really a global issue now. But Gabby Bruno, representing the OEMs in this state, and Gabby drove down from Michigan, and Gabby's not a stranger to us. She's been in Kentucky a long time. Ford is our oldest OEM, so you've been here 100 years. We've had over 100 years. So, Gabby, would you say a few words? And I know you're very familiar with other industries and efforts like this in other states.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Secretary Hayes. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in today's announcement. Ford is truly honored to play a role in this exciting initiative. Ford Motor Company rolled the Model T cars off the Louisville assembly line over 100 years ago. We celebrated our 100-year anniversary last year. Since then, the presence of the Ford Blue Oval in the Bluegrass State has grown. We now employ more than 8,500 people at our Louisville Assembly and Ford Kentucky truck plants, and Kentucky is now our second largest state, second only to Michigan, apparently also in basketball, so I won't go there. So needless to say, Ford has found great success in the Commonwealth. We know that we are not alone in that success, as is evident by the growth and strength of all of Kentucky's OEMs and the vast supplier network that extends throughout the state. The auto industry has the largest job multiplier effect of any of the manufacturing sectors, with 9 indirect jobs to every 1 direct job. And Ford alone has over 165 Kentucky-based suppliers that we purchase over $4 billion from annually. And while we all exist in a highly competitive environment, I think I speak for all of us in saying that we are thrilled with the support we have received from the state, and we are very excited about this new partnership, one that will help Kentucky continue to be a leader in the automotive industry. The Kentucky Automotive Industry Association is a great opportunity to unite for a common cause, and that is to achieve long-term success. Like others in the industry, Ford's success goes hand in hand with Kentucky's success. And we are pleased to play a significant role in strengthening the Commonwealth's presence in the automotive industry across the world. So I just want to say thank you on the behalf of the industry, Governor Beshear and Secretary Hayes, for your vision and leadership in establishing this association and for your continued support of our industry. I look forward to working with you and to all of our automotive partners to make this a success. Thank you.
Before we take questions, I think let's have each one of the board members who are here introduce themselves and tell them the company they're with.
Rich Whitaker, Sumitomo Electric Wiring Systems.
I'm Joe Adamczyk from AGC Automotive.
Mike Hirsch, I'm with ZF Steering.
I'm Brandon Kessinger with Akibono Brake Corporation.
Of course, you've met Gabby.
Ford.
Any questions?
How many other states has an organization like this, and how is it supported in other states?
Mandy, do we have an exact number, Mandy? 12 other states. And I think at one time there were 18 states. Back 20 years ago, there were 18 states that actually had manufacturing facilities. And now I think there's only 14 states. So there's been a contraction, a geographical contraction in the industry. So.
And how are they supported? You said the goal is to become self-supporting here.
I mean, a variety. I mean, many of them, the robustness of some are very robust. Michigan, you won't go to an automotive Center for Automotive Research function that doesn't have the banner Pure Michigan behind it. It's very much part of Michigan's DNA, very much part of their advertising dollars, frankly. But, you know, then you have other states where the executive offices are really in law firms somewhere. So, you know, we're not talking about a vision where you're going to have a huge amount of staff. We're talking about really whatever this group wants this to be, you know, in terms of lifting this industry up. So.
Any public money being used?
In the beginning, out of the cabinet, we'll do the things that help organize this and sending mailings out and so forth. So we'll do that out of our marketing budget. The best marketing we can do for this industry is to be able to get the story out that, in fact, we're close to becoming number 2 in the assembly of automobiles and light trucks. Most people don't know that. Most people in Kentucky don't know that, much less in the rest of the United States and certainly not in the rest of the world. So we spend a lot of money trying to get our story out.
Will this group have like a political arm, like campaign contributions?
That I can honestly say that when we had the
Look at me,
discussion,
yeah.
look at you guys, this isn't a group that I don't recognize as being big in that particular line of work. And in all seriousness, I think each company that has interest, whether they're legislative or whatever, have their own lobbyists and so forth. And we had a discussion where we said each company is still going to have their own individual interest and still have their own individual need to be able to communicate very singularly about their interest and the issues that specifically affect them. This group is really going to coalesce around those things, those larger issues that are opportunities or of interest for the industry as a whole.
In terms of workforce development, do you foresee that this group will be working with the community and technical college system to sort of expand the advanced, AMT program that they have currently?
You know, I think the first thing that's going to happen is this group is really going to be the eyes and ears for people that sit in the chair I sit in, and certainly the chair that the governor sits in the future. They're going to talk about what they have found that works, because there are a number of different efforts that are going on in different places. All of the successful efforts right now really reflect a cooperation among the companies and the private sector, as well as those educational institutions and the state at some level. So, you know, we're going to see what works, and we can begin to replicate that and talk about that. As we sat around a table talking about the need for this kind of meeting, it was interesting, and I think, not to put Brandon on the spot, but I think it was Brandon maybe that wasn't aware, or somebody else wasn't aware of a particular program that somebody else had that was very successful, you know, and just that communication. Everybody is busy doing what they have to do every day, and we don't spend much time talking to each other, so.
And I think, too, one of the other things as we were discussing it as a group, the skill gaps. What we found is the suppliers are looking for the same type of skilled trades workers that Ford's looking for, and in fact, Ford sometimes steals them from our suppliers when we can't find them other places. So it'd be nice to speak as one industry and help educate the educational institutions on the type of workers that we're in need of, and you know, again, work as an industry to speak with one voice, because we all had a lot of the same challenges and opportunities.
Secretary Hayes, I just want to clarify one point to follow up that
Okay.
question. You don't see this as any significant state expense, just some expenses out of your marketing budget to get this thing set up? Is that it?
Well, I don't know what's significant. We are clearly going to discuss when we have our first board meeting what we determined as the founders group and the founders contributions, and I suspect that the state will be a partner in that effort along with the companies that are there, but we haven't determined what that level of partnership would be. But, you know, that would be a very effective part of our marketing, I think, to be able to participate with this group when you look at what they mean, frankly, to our economy.
State government will be a partner in none of these other.
Yes, yeah, we expect to be a partner in this association for sure.
And any estimate at all of what the?
No. No, we haven't had any discussion about that yet, so we want to keep all our partners together. It really is a work in progress right now, and, you know, we want to see what it can be. It's not something that right out of the box. We didn't have a board of directors to talk about, you know, what a budget needs to look like, Tom, at this point.
Are there any other industry associations in Kentucky that the state is involved in like this?
You know, I never looked at it from that. I've never looked at it from that standpoint, so I'm not sure. The state has different ways of partnering with, whether we do it in advertising, on annual meetings, whether we do it with, there are a lot of different ways that agencies do those kinds of things. But, you know, as far as having a direct partnership in the beginning and starting that, I'm just not aware of it.
Will this group be involved in trying to attract new automotive industries to Kentucky, such as Volkswagen?
Well, I wouldn't talk about any one particular industry. What this group would be interested in, I suspect, is seeing whether you're a supplier or whether you're an OEM, you're very interested in having your supplier network as close to where you're doing business as you can be. So from that standpoint, I think they would be very interested in creating a very robust marketplace here for other people that are in that business. Many of them might be their suppliers. From the state standpoint, and our interest in that thing, obviously, the more suppliers we have and the more robust our OEMs are, that is the best advertising we can do around the world to say Kentucky is a place where you can come, you can access a workforce, you know, you can access a supplier base that's here that will make you successful from the get-go, because look at who we have. You know, we've got 3 of the best known, the best OEMs in the world, and look at the suppliers we have that are servicing them.
This might be a dumb question, but what is OEM?
Original equipment manufacturer, I'm sorry.
That's the Toyota, Ford, and GM.
I'm sorry. Actually, I used your exact words a few years ago when I asked, so.
Anybody else?
Governor, your son today announced he raised about $1 million.
Okay, can we do, I'll answer other questions off topic here in just a second, if we wind this up.
Well, are we trying to get Volkswagen? Can you comment on that?
We are open for business. If you have a particular way of being able to access Volkswagen or BMW or Hyundai or Nissan or more Ford business, more Toyota business, or more GM business, we're all for it. Every day that we get up, we're trying to do something.
Anybody else on this? Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Gabby.
Get him on tonight.
I guess I'll see you Wednesday. Are they gonna do a new intersection on the parkway?
Oh, yeah.